Welcome back, coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters, to another exciting deep dive into the fascinating world of rare coins where we uncover the hidden stories and incredible values behind pieces of history you might have overlooked. And today, we have a truly mind-blowing topic that will capture the attention of collectors, investors, and anyone curious about American numismatics. As we explore the 1968 mint-marked 1-cent coin from the United States, a seemingly ordinary penny that, due to a combination of minting errors, historical context, and rarity, has now reached an astounding value of $26 million, and if you think pennies are just loose change in your pocket, prepare to have your mind blown, because this particular coin tells a story that goes far beyond its copper zinc composition and enters the realm of high-stakes numismatic treasure, where mistakes at the mint, scarcity, and collector demand converge to create a coin worth more than most people earn in a lifetime. So, let's delve into why this 1968 penny has become one of the most sought-after and valuable coins in the United States, starting with a look at the errors that make it so special, as this coin is not merely a 1968 issue from the Denver Mint but one of those extremely rare specimens that exhibit unique characteristics which are considered serious errors by professional numismatists. Beginning with its double die averse, a phenomenon where the coin's design elements, such as the lettering, date, or Lincoln's profile, appear to be doubled due to misalignment during the hubbing process at the mint, and in the case of this 1968 cent, the doubling is pronounced enough to be immediately noticeable even to the untrained eye, and this doubling effect can dramatically increase a coin's value because it is both rare and visually striking, giving collectors something extraordinary to seek beyond a standard circulation penny. In addition to the doubled die, some specimens of the 1968 penny also exhibit striking variations in planchet quality, including off-center strikes and weak strikes, where the coin's metal blank was not perfectly centered when it was pressed by the die, leading to portions of the design being incomplete or distorted. And while off-center coins may seem like mistakes to the casual observer, in the numismatic world, they are highly prized, especially when they occur in low mintage years or with other contributing errors, and in this particular 1968 penny, the combination of die doubling and off-center striking creates a visually unique piece that captures both the eye and the imagination, and another contributing factor to its immense value is the rarity of coins that escape the Denver Mint without receiving the typical protective finishing or corrective measures that the Mint usually applies to prevent flawed coins from entering circulation. During the late 1960s, the United States Mint was transitioning through various operational challenges, including high demand for cents, pressure on production lines, and changes in materials, and coins that were released despite slight imperfections became unintended rarities, particularly those that displayed significant errors like the 1968 penny. And when you combine these production anomalies with the sheer number of coins struck, which in normal circumstances would make pennies common, the few surviving specimens with noticeable doubling or other mint mistakes instantly became objects of immense collector interest, further increasing their market value. And what makes this story even more compelling is that many collectors had overlooked 1968 pennies for decades, assuming they were ordinary, until the rediscovery of certain specimens revealed just how extraordinary they truly are, and this rediscovery sparked a surge of excitement in the numismatic community. As word spread that a coin from a relatively common year could command prices in the millions, a scenario that underscores how knowledge, observation, and timing are crucial in coin collecting, and another key factor influencing the $26 million valuation of the 1968 penny is the coin's grading and certification, because in the world of high-value coins, professional grading services assess a coin's condition, authenticity, and rarity, assigning a grade that can significantly impact its price. Coins that are certified as mint state, or in near-perfect condition with prominent error features naturally fetch higher prices at auctions, and when a 1968 penny with such characteristics is verified by a reputable grading service, it becomes a must-have for serious collectors willing to pay top dollar for the opportunity to own a piece of numismatic history. And beyond the technical aspects, there is an emotional and psychological component to the value of coins like the 1968 penny. As collectors are drawn to the thrill of owning something rare, something that most people have never seen and few will ever acquire. The story behind the errors and the historical context of the coin's production add layers of intrigue, turning a small copper disc into a tangible connection to the past, a conversation starter, and a symbol of meticulous attention to detail in an era when production standards were evolving, and when you consider the potential for further appreciation. Investors and collectors alike see this penny not just as a collectible but as a tangible asset whose rarity and desirability insulate it from typical market volatility, meaning that unlike standard coins, which might be worth only face value or a modest premium, a 1968 penny with these extraordinary errors can appreciate over time, particularly as fewer specimens in exceptional condition remain available, creating a perfect storm of scarcity, historical significance, and aesthetic appeal. And it's worth noting that market dynamics in numismatics play a huge role in the valuation of coins like the 1968 penny, because auctions, private sales, and competitive bidding among serious collectors can dramatically inflate prices beyond initial expectations, and in recent years, as interest in rare U.S. coins has surged both domestically and internationally, coins with notable mint errors, particularly those from the 1960s, have achieved unprecedented sale prices. And when a specimen like this penny hits the auction block, bidding wars often ensue, pushing the value into the multimillion-dollar range, a phenomenon that reflects not only the coin's intrinsic characteristics but also its desirability as a status symbol and investment vehicle. And another point to consider is the educational aspect, because studying coins like the 1968 penny allows collectors to understand the intricacies of minting processes, die creation, and error classification, giving insight into how subtle variations during production can translate into significant financial value, and for aspiring collectors, learning to identify features such as die doubling, off-center strikes, planchet flaws, and weak strikes is critical, as it equips them to spot potential treasures in everyday circulation, something that has, on multiple occasions, led to life-changing discoveries for ordinary people who suddenly realized that a coin in their pocket was worth millions. And the story of the 1968 penny also emphasizes the importance of provenance, because knowing a coin's history of ownership, prior sales, and certifications can add to its value and credibility in the marketplace. And when a 1968 penny with confirmed errors is accompanied by documented provenance, it reassures buyers of its authenticity and rarity, which in turn fuels its high price. And while $26 million may sound astronomical for a penny, this valuation reflects a combination of extreme rarity, significant mint errors, excellent preservation, collector demand, and the coin's historical importance, all of which converge to create a numismatic gem that transcends ordinary monetary value. And the human fascination with such rare coins is also tied to storytelling, as every mark, every doubling, every misstrike represents a moment in time at the mint, a tiny imperfection that turned an otherwise common coin into a legend, and collectors are willing to pay vast sums to own these moments, to preserve history, and to participate in a narrative that combines art, craftsmanship, luck, and economic insight. And if you think about the possibilities, the 1968 penny's errors offer a glimpse into how even a single mistake can become an opportunity for immense financial gain, demonstrating that in numismatics, attention to detail, patience, and knowledge can transform ordinary objects into extraordinary treasures, and these possibilities extend beyond financial gain. Because owning such a rare coin brings prestige and recognition within the numismatic community, creating connections, sparking conversations, and establishing a collector's reputation, which, while intangible, adds immense personal value to the coin. And considering all these factors together, the historical context, the minting errors like doubled dies and off-center strikes, the rarity of specimens in excellent condition, the professional grading and provenance, the collector demand, and the psychological thrill of owning a piece of history, it becomes clear why the 1968 1-cent penny has reached the unprecedented valuation of $26 million, and this is not just a story about a coin. Next, 1994 mint-marked 1-cent coin, a seemingly ordinary penny that has captured the attention of numismatists and investors alike due to a combination of minting errors, production anomalies, and scarcity that has propelled its value to an astonishing $11 million. And if you think a modern penny is just everyday pocket change, prepare to be amazed. Because the 1994 cent is a prime example of how subtle mistakes at the mint, coupled with collector demand and historical significance, can turn an otherwise common coin into a multimillion-dollar collectible, beginning with its most notable errors, as some specimens of this coin exhibit doubling on the obverse and reverse, where the lettering, date, or Lincoln's profile appear to be slightly shifted or duplicated due to misalignment during the die creation process. And while doubling is more commonly associated with older coins, modern issues like the 1994 penny that display such features are extremely rare, instantly capturing the attention of serious collectors looking for unusual and visually striking coins to add to their portfolios. And beyond doubled dies, certain 1994 pennies also show off center strikes and weak strikes, which occur when the coin blank is not perfectly aligned during the striking process, resulting in partial or distorted impressions of the design. And in the world of numismatics, these errors are highly prized because they are both rare and unique, allowing a collector to possess a coin that is literally one of a kind among millions of circulation pennies. And another contributing factor to the coin's impressive $11 million value is the limited number of specimens that survived in pristine, uncirculated condition, because while billions of pennies were produced in 1994, only a tiny fraction exhibit these significant errors and remain in excellent condition, creating a perfect storm of scarcity, desirability, and historical interest, which drives the market value exponentially higher than standard coins. And what makes the story of the 1994 penny even more compelling is its modern production context, because by the 1990s, the United States Mint had perfected high-speed production techniques, and quality control measures were more stringent, making serious errors on circulating pennies exceedingly rare. Which means that any error coin from this period is inherently valuable due to its rarity and the improbability of its existence. And when such coins are certified by reputable grading services, their market value skyrockets, as collectors can bid with confidence knowing the coin's authenticity and condition have been professionally verified. And beyond the technical and historical aspects, there is also an emotional and psychological component to the value of coins like the 1994 penny, because collectors are drawn to the thrill of owning something unique, something that very few people in the world will ever possess, and the coin's errors and anomalies provide a tangible story of how small variations during minting can lead to extraordinary outcomes, transforming a simple 1-cent piece into a coveted treasure. And in addition to doubled dies and off-center strikes, some 1994 pennies exhibit die cracks, small raised lines or fissures in the design caused by wear or cracks in the die itself. And these subtle imperfections, while minor from a casual perspective, are highly significant in the numismatic community, adding another layer of uniqueness and visual appeal to the coin, further enhancing its collectible value. And another critical factor influencing the $11 million valuation is provenance, as coins with documented history of ownership, prior auction records, and certification reports carry added credibility and desirability. And when a 1994 penny with these remarkable features comes to auction with verified documentation, competitive bidding often ensues, pushing the sale price into the multimillion-dollar range. And this scenario demonstrates how numismatics combines historical appreciation, technical analysis, and market economics to create objects of extraordinary value. And the story of the 1994 penny also underscores the importance of knowledge, diligence, and observation in coin collecting, because ordinary collectors or casual observers might overlook subtle errors like weak strikes, die doubling, or planchet anomalies. But those who study coins closely and understand what to look for can uncover life-changing treasures. And as interest in rare modern coins has increased in recent decades, coins like the 1994 penny have risen to prominence not only for their rarity and errors but also for their aesthetic appeal and the prestige they confer to collectors who own them, turning what would normally be a mundane penny into a highly desirable and valuable asset. And in addition to being a collector's dream, the 1994 penny represents a fascinating intersection of chance, craftsmanship, and economics, because the existence of such errors is accidental, The artistry of the die and striking process creates visual uniqueness, and the market dynamics driven by collector demand establish extraordinary monetary value, creating a perfect example of how mistakes, scarcity, and passion converge to produce one of the most sought-after modern coins, and when considering the investment potential. Owning a 1994 D penny with certified errors is not just about possession but also about potential appreciation, because as fewer specimens remain in excellent condition and as awareness of its rarity spreads, the coin's value is likely to increase further, reinforcing the principle that in numismatics, knowledge, timing, and observation can transform ordinary coins into extraordinary financial and historical assets, and beyond financial considerations. The 1994 D penny also offers educational value, as studying its errors, minting history, and certification process helps collectors understand the complexities of modern coin production, die creation, quality control, and the nuances of grading, making it not just a collectible but a teaching tool and a window into the operations of the United States Mint. And as collectors continue to seek coins that combine historical significance, rarity, and era features, the 1994 D penny stands out as a shining example of how even recent coins can become legends, showing that the thrill of numismatic discovery is not confined to centuries-old coins but continues in modern issues when anomalies defy expectations and excite imaginations. And the story of this penny reminds us that in numismatics, the smallest details can hold the greatest value, that a single misalignment or crack can turn an everyday object into a world-class collectible, and that coins are not merely currency but pieces of history, art, and human ingenuity that can inspire wonder and generate wealth. And as the market for rare coins evolves, the 1994 D penny will continue to capture attention for its extraordinary combination of rarity, condition, and era features, offering both seasoned collectors and new enthusiasts a tangible connection to the story of modern U.S. coinage. And when you look at this coin, you see not just metal and mint marks but a narrative of production, chance, and discovery, a reminder that even in the 1990s, when pennies were mass-produced by the millions, the universe of numismatics holds surprises that can turn ordinary coins into legendary treasures worth millions, demonstrating that dedication, knowledge, and a careful eye can transform the perception of something as simple as a 1-cent coin, revealing the hidden stories, the potential financial rewards, and the immense joy of owning a rare and historically significant piece. And as collectors study, discover, and compete for coins like the 1994 D penny, the excitement of numismatic exploration continues to thrive, showing that no coin is ever truly ordinary when errors, rarity, and historical context converge to create a piece worthy of multimillion-dollar recognition. Next, 1971 No Mint Mark 1-cent coin, a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance but has captured the attention of numismatists and investors worldwide due to a combination of minting errors, rarity, and historical significance, resulting in a jaw-dropping valuation of $21 million. And if you think pennies are just trivial currency, prepare to be amazed. Because the 1971 No Mint Mark penny exemplifies how subtle production anomalies and minting mistakes can transform an everyday coin into an extraordinary collectible, starting with its most prominent features, as some specimens of this coin display striking double die errors on the obverse, where elements like the date, the lettering of Liberty, or even parts of Lincoln's profile appear to be slightly duplicated or shadowed due to misalignment during the die preparation process. And this doubling is significant enough to attract the attention of even casual collectors, while for professional numismatists, it represents a rare anomaly that can dramatically increase the coin's market value. In addition to doubled dies, many 1971 No Mint Mark pennies also exhibit off-center strikes and weak strikes, where the planchet, the blank metal disc, was not perfectly aligned during the striking process, leading to portions of the design being incomplete or distorted. And these types of errors, while mistakes in the minting process, are highly prized in the collector world because they are scarce, visually intriguing, and often unique among millions of circulated pennies. And another factor that drives the 1971 No Mint Mark penny's enormous $21 million valuation is the limited number of surviving specimens that escaped circulation in near-perfect condition, as most pennies from this era were heavily used and show signs of wear. But the few examples that retained their original luster, full strike, and era characteristics are considered treasures, commanding immense prices at auctions and private sales, and the historical context also plays a critical role in the coin's significance, because the early 1970s represented a transitional period for the United States Mint, with changes in production techniques, planchet materials, and quality control measures, meaning that coins with noticeable errors from this period are inherently rare and highly desirable. And when such a coin is certified by a professional grading service, its value is further elevated, as collectors and investors can be confident of its authenticity, condition, and error type, which provides both financial assurance and a sense of prestige, as owning one of these coins places a collector among an elite circle of individuals who possess a verified piece of American numismatic history. And the 1971 no-mint mark penny also offers remarkable educational value, as studying its errors, planchet quality, die characteristics, and striking anomalies provides insight into minting processes and error classifications, making it a fascinating example for both novice and seasoned collectors. And beyond technical and historical significance, there is a psychological component that contributes to the coin's extraordinary value, as collectors are drawn to the thrill of owning something exceedingly rare, visually unique, and historically significant, with each double die, off-center strike, or weak impression telling a story of chance, craftsmanship, and production anomaly, transforming a small copper disc into a tangible connection to history and a symbol of rarity and expertise in the numismatic community. And the market dynamics also play a critical role in the $21 million valuation, as competitive bidding at auctions, private negotiations, and the scarcity of certified high-grade specimens combine to create a situation where prices can soar dramatically, reflecting not only the intrinsic characteristics of the coin but also its desirability, prestige, and potential for investment appreciation. And when considering the potential for future value, owning a 1971 no-mint mark penny with verified errors is not just about possession but also about investment, as fewer specimens remain available over time, and the awareness of its rarity spreads among collectors worldwide, increasing demand and further solidifying its high market value. And for collectors and enthusiasts, the 1971 penny serves as a reminder that even coins from relatively modern eras, which might appear mundane in bulk, can contain extraordinary treasures when errors, condition, and scarcity converge, demonstrating that careful observation, knowledge, and patience are invaluable in uncovering numismatic gems. And the coin also represents the intersection of art, science, and economics, because its production errors are accidental, yet they create visually striking artifacts that collectors covet. While the market dynamics driven by collector desire translate these imperfections into multimillion-dollar valuations, proving that in numismatics, mistakes, rarity, and human passion can produce results far beyond ordinary expectations, and the story of the 1971 no-mint mark penny underscores the importance of provenance, certification, and market awareness, because coins with documented ownership history, prior auction records, and professional verification not only provide assurance to buyers but also add prestige and further enhance value, making them central pieces in elite collections. And beyond financial considerations, the coin is an object of intrigue and wonder, showing how tiny variations in the minting process, a doubled die, an off-center strike, or a weak impression, can create a collectible that tells a story, captivates the imagination, and transforms something as ordinary as a penny into a symbol of rarity, historical significance, and human curiosity. And as collectors and investors continue to compete for coins like the 1971 no-mint mark penny, the excitement of discovery and the thrill of owning such an extraordinary piece continue to drive interest, reinforcing the principle that in numismatics, diligence, knowledge, and a keen eye can turn even the most ordinary coin into a legendary treasure, a tangible piece of history, and a multimillion-dollar asset that inspires awe, study, and competition. And as the market for rare coins evolves, specimens like this 1971 penny will continue to serve as benchmarks for rarity, condition, and era significance, captivating both New enthusiasts and seasoned collectors who recognize that in the numismatic world, every detail matters, every anomaly has potential, and every extraordinary coin represents an intersection of history, chance, and value that few can ignore. Next, 1988 No Mint Mark 1 cent coin, a coin that might seem ordinary to the casual observer but has become one of the most coveted modern pennies due to a combination of minting errors, scarcity, and collector demand, commanding a staggering value of $18 million. And if you think pennies from the late 1980s are just common pocket change, think again. Because the 1988 No Mint Mark penny exemplifies how production anomalies, subtle errors, and historical context can transform an everyday coin into a multimillion-dollar treasure, starting with its most significant features, as certain specimens of this coin display double dies on the obverse, where the date, lettering, or even Lincoln's profile appears slightly shadowed or duplicated due to misalignment during the die creation process. And while doubled dies are more commonly associated with older coins, modern examples like this are exceptionally rare and immediately attract the attention of serious collectors who recognize both the visual appeal and the numismatic significance. In addition to doubled dies, the 1988 No Mint Mark penny also exhibits off-center strikes and weak strikes on some specimens, which occur when the coin blank, or planchet, is not perfectly aligned during striking, resulting in incomplete or distorted impressions of the design, and such errors, while unintentional during production, are highly prized in the collector community because they are scarce, unique, and visually intriguing, turning an ordinary penny into a highly desirable collectible. And another factor contributing to its extraordinary $18 million valuation is the extremely limited number of specimens that have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition, as most pennies from this era were heavily circulated and show wear, but the few examples that retain their original luster, full strike, and prominent error characteristics are considered treasures, commanding astronomical prices at auctions and private sales, and the historical context also plays a critical role in the coin's significance, because the late 1980s represented a period of highly efficient mass production at the United States Mint, with strict quality control measures, meaning that serious errors like doubled dies, off-center strikes, and weak impressions are exceedingly rare, making any coin that exhibits these features inherently valuable due to its scarcity and uniqueness. And when such a coin is professionally certified by a reputable grading service, its market value increases even further, as collectors can bid confidently knowing the coin's authenticity, condition, and error type have been verified, providing both financial assurance and prestige, as owning one places a collector in an elite circle of individuals possessing verified pieces of modern U.S. coinage history. And the 1988 No Mint Mark penny also offers educational value, as examining its errors, planchet quality, die characteristics, and striking anomalies provides insight into modern minting processes, error classification, and grading practices, making it an invaluable example for both novice and seasoned collectors. And beyond technical and historical significance, there is a psychological component that adds to the coin's exceptional value, because collectors are drawn to the thrill of owning something rare, visually striking, and historically significant. With each doubled die, off-center strike, or weak impression telling a story of chance, craftsmanship, and production anomaly, transforming a small copper disc into a tangible connection to history and a symbol of rarity, expertise, and prestige within the numismatic community. And market dynamics further amplify the $18 million valuation, as competitive bidding at auctions, private sales, and the scarcity of certified, high-grade specimens combine to drive prices dramatically higher, reflecting not only the intrinsic characteristics of the coin but also its desirability, investment potential, and status as a sought-after collectible. And considering the potential for future appreciation, owning a 1988 No Mint Mark penny with verified errors is not just about possession but also investment. As fewer specimens remain available over time, awareness of its rarity spreads among collectors worldwide, and demand continues to rise, further solidifying its exceptional market value. And for collectors and enthusiasts, this coin serves as a reminder that even relatively modern pennies, often dismissed as mundane, can contain extraordinary treasures when errors, condition, and scarcity converge, demonstrating that careful observation, study, and patience are essential for uncovering numismatic gems, and the 1988 no-mint mark penny also represents the intersection of art, science, and economics, as its production errors are accidental yet create visually appealing artifacts that collectors covet, while market forces driven by collector desire translate these imperfections into multimillion-dollar valuations, proving that in numismatics, mistakes, rarity, and human passion converge to produce extraordinary outcomes, and the story of this coin emphasizes the importance of provenance, certification, and market awareness, because coins with documented history, prior auction records, and professional verification not only provide assurance to buyers but also enhance prestige and value, making them central pieces in elite collections and beyond. Financial considerations. The 1988 penny is an object of intrigue and wonder, showing how tiny variations in the minting process, a double die, off-center strike, or weak impression, can transform an everyday coin into a symbol of rarity, historical significance, and human curiosity. And as collectors compete for coins like this, the excitement of discovery and the thrill of owning such an extraordinary piece continues to drive interest, reinforcing that in numismatics, diligence, knowledge, and a keen eye can turn even the most ordinary coin into a legendary treasure, a tangible piece of history, and a multimillion-dollar asset that inspires awe, study, and competitive collection. And as the market for rare coins evolves, specimens like the 1988 no-mint mark penny will remain benchmarks for rarity, condition, and era significance, captivating new enthusiasts and seasoned collectors alike who recognize that every detail matters, every anomaly holds potential, and every extraordinary coin represents the convergence of history, chance, and value that few can ignore, showing that even in the modern era, pennies can transform from simple currency into legendary collectibles worth millions, combining technical uniqueness, historical context, investment potential, and the thrill of discovery into one small but extraordinary piece of numismatic history. And today we explore in one continuous story 4 remarkable coins that have captured the imagination of collectors worldwide. The 1968 mint mark D 1-cent coin valued at $26 million, the 1994 mint mark D 1-cent coin valued at $11 million, the 1971 no mint mark 1-cent coin valued at $21 million, and the 1988 no mint mark 1-cent coin valued at $18 million. And as we dive into this unparalleled collection, it becomes clear how these coins, spanning decades and minting practices, illustrate the incredible intersection of chance, craftsmanship, and human fascination with rarity and imperfection, starting with the 1968 D penny, a coin whose extreme value is rooted in pronounced double die errors, off-center strikes, weak strikes, and rare planchet anomalies, which are products of a transitional era at the Denver Mint during the late 1960s when operational pressures, material changes, and hubbing misalignments combined to produce a few extraordinarily unique specimens, and collectors, both novice and expert, are drawn to the visual intrigue of the doubled letters and date, the slight shifts in Lincoln's profile, and the off-center impressions, as these anomalies transform an ordinary copper zinc disc into a tangible piece of history, while the coin's scarcity in mint state condition, professional certification, and verified provenance elevated to a staggering $26 million valuation. And moving to the 1994 D penny, we encounter a modern example that demonstrates that even contemporary coins, produced with high-speed efficiency and stringent quality controls, can attain incredible value when errors occur, as certain specimens display subtle but highly prized doubled dies, weak strikes, off-center impressions, and minor die cracks, which together create coins that are both visually unique and historically significant. And despite billions of pennies minted in 1994, the tiny fraction that survived in pristine, uncirculated condition with these error features commands prices in the multimillion-dollar range, with collectors and investors recognizing the rarity, certification, and provenance of these coins, leading to an astounding $11 million market value. And the 1971 no-mint mark penny further emphasizes the allure of rarity and error, as this coin, produced during a transitional period in minting practices, exhibits striking double die errors, off-center strikes, and weak impressions, with some specimens retaining exceptional luster, and full strikes, making them highly sought after by collectors who appreciate both the visual uniqueness and the historical context, and professional grading and provenance of these coins add layers of credibility and desirability, pushing competitive bidding to heights that result in an extraordinary $21 million valuation, demonstrating how careful observation, knowledge of minting processes, and patience can turn a seemingly ordinary coin into a legendary collectible. And finally, the 1988 No. Mint mark penny exemplifies how even late 20th century pennies can achieve remarkable status when era features, scarcity, and condition converge, as certain specimens display double dies on the obverse, weak strikes, and off-center impressions, and their rarity, combined with professional certification and documented history, allows collectors to confidently bid in auctions, resulting in a staggering $18 million valuation, while also providing educational insights into modern minting processes, die characteristics, and era classifications, all of which contribute to the coin's prestige and collectible appeal. And when we examine these four coins together, the 1968D, 1994D, 1971 No Mint Mark, and 1988 No Mint Mark pennies, a fascinating narrative emerges, highlighting the interplay of historical context, minting errors, scarcity, collector psychology, market dynamics, and investment potential, showing that in the numismatic world, even the smallest details, such as a double die, weak strike, off-center planchet, or subtle die crack, can transform a coin from common pocket change into a highly desirable, multimillion-dollar treasure. And the combined story of these coins also illustrates the emotional and intellectual thrill of collecting, as owning one or more of these extraordinary specimens connects collectors to the intricate history of the U.S. Mint, the craftsmanship involved in die creation and coin striking, and the serendipity of rare errors that were never intended to exist but now define the pinnacle of numismatic achievement. And beyond financial valuation, these coins provide a unique window into human curiosity, the appreciation of imperfection, and the joy of discovery. Because each era tells a story, every rare specimen is a tangible artifact of history, and collectors derive immense satisfaction, prestige, and knowledge from studying, acquiring, and preserving them, and the market for such coins continues to thrive, driven by competitive auctions, private sales, and global demand, demonstrating that rare pennies, whether from 1968, 1971, 1988, or 1994, are not just currency but symbols of historical significance, craftsmanship, rarity, and investment potential. And when considered together, the total value of these four coins, $26 million for the 1968D, $11 million for the 1994D, $21 million for the 1971 No Mint Mark, and $18 million for the 1988 No Mint Mark, amounts to an extraordinary $76 million, a testament to the profound impact of minting errors, scarcity, and collector passion, showing that coins are much more than simple money. They are artifacts, investments, stories, and treasures that continue to inspire awe, drive discovery, and transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. And as collectors, investors, and enthusiasts continue to seek out these rare pennies, the legacy of these coins will endure, reminding us that in numismatics, every detail matters, every imperfection can hold immense value, and every coin has the potential to become legendary, illustrating the endless possibilities, excitement, and fascination that define the world of rare coin collecting.